Hi guys, today coming with the video that I wanted to do for quite some time, actually quite a long time, and finally I'm doing a video on one of my favorite notes in fragrances. Guys, is Osmanthus fragrances. If you don't know how Osmanthus smell, is a beautiful note that gives the fragrance a little bit of apricotty, peachy sort of smell. I would describe this note as a little bit of milky apricot. In fact, is a flower. I did quite a big research, guys, to compose this list because Osmanthus is not a very common note in fragrances, even though I think it's really beautiful. But it took me quite some time to find an Osmanthus fragrances to compose this list. And actually now I have a few that I really love. So let's get started. And guys, before we get into really sweet, almost gourmand Osmanthus fragrances, I want to talk about fragrance that I found actually a couple of days ago. I didn't have a fragrance from there that I really love, so I don't think I included this brand in any of my videos before. So basically it's Ormonde Jayne and it's based in London. They have a boutique in London which I actually visited, as I said, like a couple of days ago. A beautiful place, very cozy. Basically that's the original Osmanthus fragrance and this is the Elixir version. These fragrances I think are strictly for, well, not strictly, but mostly for people who just love Osmanthus note like myself. So I could just smell Osmanthus from the morning till night. That's how much I love it. So I think if you're a fan of the notes, these two fragrances are must to check. So obviously, as the name says, it's all centered around Osmanthus. If you're looking for like powdery and super sweet Osmanthus, maybe check the fragrances I'm going to mention later. But if you like the idea of having an Osmanthus fragrance, but a little hint of herbs, and a little bit more fresh citrusy, these are fragrances to check. So this is Ormonde Jayne Osmanthus and Osmanthus Elixir, which supposed to be a little bit more profound and a little bit more deep. But to be honest, like to my nose, they smell almost identical, so it's up to you which one to check. The next two fragrances I want to do as a little bit of comparison because generally speaking, they are very similar. They are almost the same, guys. They are very easily replaceable by each other. One is from Serge Lutens called Nuit de Cellophane. I have a sample here. And the other one is Forbidden Games by Kilian. So today I was wearing both. So one hand was Serge Lutens and another hand was Kilian. And as I said, guys, these fragrances are almost the same. They smell almost identical. They're both absolutely beautiful. So if you're looking for sweet, powdery, smooth, luxury, beautiful Osmanthus fragrance, these two are absolute must to check. So I'm gonna give you little differences so you can choose the one you like the most. The difference that I picked in these two fragrances, I would say that Kilian Forbidden Games is a little bit more gourmand for me. So Serge Lutens Nuit de Cellophane is absolutely beautiful and it does have a little notes that can give it a gourmandish sort of feel. But if you're looking for gourmand Osmanthus, that's definitely Kilian Forbidden Games. So it's a little bit sweet. It's definitely got more vanilla. Maybe that's why it sounds a little bit more gourmand for me. So if you're looking for something with big dose of vanilla with Osmanthus, that's Kilian Forbidden Games. And Serge Lutens Nuit de Cellophane is absolutely beautiful, as I said. It's sweet, it's smooth, it's absolutely luxurious, creamy, beautiful Osmanthus fragrance. And it does have a little bit of a honey note that Kilian fragrance doesn't have. So I think they are quite different in that way. So this is up to you which one to choose. So the next fragrance, guys, is one of my favorite fragrances of all times ever. And it's been my signature scent for quite some time, not anymore, but I still absolutely love it. Again, it's from Kilian and it's called Good Girl Gone Bad. The most beautiful one for me is the original. It has tuberose, osmanthus, jasmine, orange blossom, absolutely luxurious, smooth, and absolutely intoxicating fragrance. So this fragrance, the word I would use to describe it and probably to stand it apart from the other fragrances I mentioned before, it's intoxicating. So maybe it's not that much of a gourmand as the previous one, Forbidden Games, but it's definitely the most intoxicating one. Every time I spray a Good Girl Gone Bad on myself, just can't stop smelling it. It's one of the most intoxicating white floral scents that I ever owned. So this is Good Girl Gone Bad by Kilian. So guys, as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm gonna give you 1, 2, 4 more fragrances from different brands, so you can choose the ones that you like the most, or just know the fragrances that has Osmanthus as a note. Maybe not as a leading one, but still beautiful fragrances with Osmanthus. So there are 2 fragrances from AMOUAGE. One called Sunshine and another one is Material. Then there is fragrance from ATELIER DORS called Nuda Veritas, absolutely beautiful fragrance. And the very last one is from MEMO Paris called Inle. If you enjoyed watching this video and you want to see more, subscribe to my channel and see you soon.